October, just started fishing again. Got the rods out there, I was on fish, like a couple of fish like jumping last night, and this morning I just got to thinking about some of the different things that I've found have helped me catch fish over the years, so I thought I'd give you a little insight into that. I mean, number one thing that I've always thought is extremely important is to always be on fish. Now, fish will give away their presence by jumping, rolling, bubbling. You'll see fish bubbling. And you basically, if you get up nice and early, the fish will show you where they are. Or if you turn up early on the lake that you're fishing, or intend to fish, the fish will show you where they are. So scrutinise the water. Don't just look at it. Scrutinise the water surface. Now, if you spend a lot of time like walking round and round and round the water, preferably early in the morning when the fish are at their most active, or even during the night to be fair, the fish will show you where they are. So once you've found them fish, you can apply your rig and your bait to them fish and you're in a much better position to catch them. Always use a rig and a bait that you've got the utmost confidence in. Now, personally speaking, when I'm fishing on this particular water, I'll always use my tried and tested bottom bait rig. Now, that consists of my usual rotary setup, which is 45 pound ESP lead core, which is the best lead core going. Good and strong, will never fail you. I attach that to the main line with a 3-turn needle knot at the top end, and I've got like a little 6mm Thinking Anglers oval bead, which I'll slide up the lead core. That's nice and safe. It's got a small bore, but in case of a crack off or something, it'll pull up and over the needle knot and release your hook link and release the fish. My usual setup would be a double ring swivel from Thinking Anglers. That allows like a little bit of movement of the hook link. Below that, I've got a Gardener buffer bead, which protects the 3-turn grinner knot, which I've attached to, as usual, it's like between a 2-ounce and a 3-ounce distance pair lead. Alright, that's my usual helicopter setup, and I'll use that for a bottom bait rig. I'll use that for a hinge stiff link. Okay, it's nice and safe, it's tried and tested. Now, my out and out bottom bait rig, a good starting point is a size 8 quarter wide gate. Now, that's an in-turn point, in-turn eye hook, really good and sharp, and it's quite strong. Now, that's my usual hook that I would use with a 14mm bottom bait. I'd have like a little 3mm section of Fox silicone tube on the bend. Now, that's the best one for the job, purely because it's thick-walled, and on a big cast it will never snap or fail. And then I'd have probably about 4mm, something like that, of shrink tube pushed over the eye to create a cranked effect. Now, that rig has caught me loads of fish out here, and the thing is, I'll use it with absolute confidence. It's a nice balanced setup. I can use it with a 14mm bottom bait. I can put like a little topper on it, like a little Enterprise fake sweet corn topper. But always make sure that there's like a 1 centimetre gap between the top of the bait and the silicone. So then that way that allows a bit of movement in the fish's mouth for the hook to do its job. The hook link I'd usually use is atomic jelly wire in the 15 pound. There's not many snags in this water, so I'm happy to use that. Now, if I was fishing a weedier water for bigger fish, I'd up the gauge of everything. I'd use a size 6 hook. So instead of using a quarter wide gate, size 8 quarter wide gate, I'd use a size 6 claw from Atomic, which is a lot stronger and is never going to fail me. I'd use 25 pound jelly wire. I use 25 pound sheepskin from Suffolk, and that is never going to fail. So basically what I'm saying is, you don't have to overcomplicate things. You can adjust it according to the fishing that you're doing. So you take a concept, which is that out and out bottom bait rig, and you adjust it according to your bait size and fishing situation. Now, I can use that as a single with a sweet corn stopper on it, or I can use that with a 2-bait stringer or a little bag of crumb. So there's like endless presentations that I can use that rig in conjunction with to give me different options. I don't need to keep chopping and changing from this rig to that rig and the new Fandango rig, because that will not catch you any more carp. So that's my out and out bottom bait rig. Bait wise, on this particular water, I'm using Richworth Tutti Fruities. Right, now I've caught a lot of fish out of here on Richworth Tutti Fruities. They're an extremely good bait, and I've often used the phrase that there ain't a carp alive that don't eat a toot, and there ain't. I would fish that anywhere and I would be confident. I mean, I've taken that to a lot of different waters and caught carp all over on it. I've also got a lot of confidence in John Elmer's anchovy bait during the summer months. It's a fish meal, it's really good. I use that with a free bait stringer or a little bag of crumb of it, extremely good. But bait wise, I think there's a lot of rubbish talked. Most of the big companies do extremely good bait. For example, the Source from Dynamite is very good. The Red Fish from Dynamite is very good. Nashy Scopex Squid's really good. Mainline Cell's really good, especially on this water because it's seen a lot of it. It's a good quality bait, the fish love it, they've seen a lot of it and they'll take it with confidence. Alternatively, something like CC Moore, Odyssey Triple X, mate of mine Ben, he uses that with absolute confidence. Any of the proprietary baits from the big companies work. They're all good quality baits that the fish like to eat. You can buy a bag of it, stick it on, and you can fish that with confidence. Now, I'm a real fan of one bite at a time fishing tactics. I haven't got a great deal of time to fish, so I want to maximise my time while I'm fishing. Now, I've found them fish. I've got a rig and a bait that I've got absolute confidence in. And what I try and do is just create the minimum disturbance possible. And I'm trying to get all 2 or 3 of my baits out across the general area where the fish are. I don't want to disturb the water too greatly by putting out marker floats. I cast out, touch my finger on the spool as soon as the lead hits the water, feel the lead down, and if it's a nice long drop and a soft drop, you're fishing on silt, okay? If you see the lead touch down on the surface of the water, touch your finger against the spool. It's a short drop and a hard donk. You feel it go donk and your rod tip will spring back. All right, that's shallow water and a hard bottom, quite often gravel. One bite at a time. I'm sticking out enough for one bite. All right, and then if I catch one, well happy with that one, I put the same approach on again, whack it out there, see if I can catch another. Now on this particular water, I've caught up to 5 fish in a night doing that. So I've never felt the need to put any more food out there. I think it overcomplicates the issue. Now if you've got time on your hands, for example like my mate Martin Pick, he adopts a whole different style of fishing. He wants to determine exactly where he's fishing. With Martin, everything's done on the clip. He's determined where he wants to fish to, whether it be a deep silty area or a clear spot in amongst weed. He's clipped it up to his reel, he knows the distance. So then what he does is determine exactly what it is and he clips all his rods up to that particular distance, including his spod rod. So what he does is put like a large amount of bait out, okay? Now because he's got 3 or 4 nights fishing ahead of him, he can actually introduce bait properly in a tight area and get them fish feeding. He's creating quite a large initial disturbance, which I prefer not to, but because he's fishing for quite a long time, he's accepting he's going to create that disturbance in order to get the fish feeding and hopefully catch a fair few more fish. You know, I find that style of fishing extremely interesting because it's fishing that's quite alien to me. I'm just like quick bite tactics, whereas he likes to, you know, fish a session, get a bit of bait out there, catch a couple of fish, and then add to the bait.